Hello and welcome to the short Vort on the double parsha of Mattos Massei. In Parsha Massei, we discuss the journeys of the Bnei Yisrael in the desert as they were heading to Eretz Yisrael. Rashi there brings down a Midrash in Perek Lamed Gimel Pasuk Aleph regarding a king whose son was ill and had to go on a journey in order to find the doctors to heal him. After the prince was healed, the king would recount the story about their travels. He says, here we slept, over here we chilled, over here you were sick, here you had a headache, you had a fever here, different places. Now Rabbi Henoch Leibowitz, the Rosh Hashiva Zatzal of Chavetz Chaim in Queens, so he says, I understand why in the mashal the king is happy to recount these places, because it worked out in the end and he's showing appreciation and thankfulness for the recuperation. However, why would Hashem want to recount these places when the places he's recounting are allusions to sins that the Bnei Yisrael did? In fact, Rabbi Shimon Schwab in Sefer Maayan Bais Hashoeva says that these recountings were in fact a rebuke. When he says that here you slept, it's because you were asleep and didn't recognize the miracles that Hashem did for you in the desert. By the time of Yetzias Mitzrayim, the Egyptians, it says, were burying their dead. The Egyptians didn't bury their dead, they embalmed them. That was a religious practice, a religious rite. However, the Egyptians recognized Hashem and they stopped doing the service to their gods, and instead they buried their dead. The Jews should have recognized the favor that Hashem did for the Bnei Yisrael. Also, they were in a place called Elim, and there were 12 wells there, one for each tribe, and something else that was 70 representing the Shimon Zakinim. They should have been inspired by the fact that these were not coincidences. Instead, they were chilled, they were cooled off, they didn't recognize how hot and inspired they should have been. So there's different places that they should have recognized how they didn't act. And where it says that, the prince's head hurt, that's an allusion to the fact that the Bnei Yisrael lost their leaders, their heads. Har Nevo, Har, they lost Aaron, they lost Moshe at these places, and that's what it means by their head hurt. But getting back to the answer of a more positive way, as explained by Rabbi Leibowitz, it's that we don't appreciate the way Hashem loves us. We've heard these mashalim, that the king and the prince, or Chassan and Kala, the great love there, but Hashem's love of the Bnei Yisrael is even greater than those levels. We cannot comprehend them. That even to the extent that when we sinned, Hashem doesn't look at these sins that we did in the desert as sins. To him, they were temporary illnesses. This was a fact that because we didn't appreciate what we should have appreciated, and therefore we end up sinning. But if we had appreciated how beloved Hashem would be, we would have sinned. So in Hashem's eyes, these willful averos were only temporary illnesses, and therefore he didn't look at them the bad way that we would have thought. His thinking that if only the Bnei Yisrael would recognize how much I love them, they would do tshuva. Rabbi Leibowitz says this is a lesson for us during these times of mourning, of 3 weeks and a day between B'Tevis and Tisha B'Av, that if only we would do tshuva. And one way to do tshuva is by recognizing how much Hashem loves us and how much that He allows us to do tshuva, that we actually would benefit. Things would go back to the way they were. We shouldn't give up hope and not do tshuva. So therefore, that's the lesson. We should take advantage of this time to do tshuva, so we should be zocha to have Hashem love us the way He should, and the bias hagoel with the binyan Beis Mikdash meher b'meinu. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful weekend, wonderful Shabbos.